Inshallah, in this video I'll be showing everyone how to book Umrah via a tour group, so they can book it themselves. Just a note that this is only available for those countries that can obtain a visa themselves, and they don't have to go through a travel agent to obtain an Umrah visa. And we'll talk more about that inshallah. This guide was created on the 6th of August, so 19th Muharram 1445. So don't know when you'll be watching this, but things could change. So always ensure to check the official sources for updates. So in terms of what I'm trying to cover in this guide is I'm going to give you pros and cons versus booking with a tour group. I'm going to explain the visa and Umrah permit that you need. I'll also explain some advice in terms of booking flights, and we'll go through an example of how to find cheap flights and stuff like that. Likewise with the hotels, and I'll also explaining about the transport and a couple of notes around things that you need. In terms of pros and cons compared to group travel, the pros are flights. You can work around your own schedule, whereas normally the tour groups have a set schedule and dates. So if you need to work around your own timings, you've got the flexibility to do that. Also, if you plan on traveling to also other destinations, so you might want to do your Umrah first, and then you might want to go to another country and then come back home. Again, you're able to do that, and generally, flight costs are much cheaper when you try to combine different destinations together in one go. So that's a big major plus as well. Hotels, again, if you're specific in terms of the different type of hotel you want, again, you have the flexibility to choose whatever hotel you want. Whereas with group bookings, you're sort of stuck to the hotels they've chosen. Schedule, again, you can sort of do things at your own pace in terms of whenever you want, when you want. Likewise, privacy, you might feel there might be a bit more privacy, not having to go into coach with all the other brothers and sisters that are also doing Umrah. So stuff like that, depending on your liking. And it can definitely potentially work out cheaper in many cases. But you just need to ensure you include travel costs for all the taxi journeys to the Ziraya locations, from the airport, all of that stuff. You just want to make sure when you're working out your flights, your hotels, you need to include these taxi journey costs as well in there, to then work out whether it's cheap or not. In terms of cons, this might not apply to everyone, but in terms of visa, some people do find this a bit stressful depending on the country they're in. So again, it might not be for you if you don't want to do all this paperwork, but generally it's quite easy to obtain a visa. There's not many questions asked. In terms of travel, you need to organize your own transport to Makkah, from airport, Ziraya, all of that stuff you've got to do yourself. And sometimes it can be difficult getting taxis in certain locations. So in Makkah near Masjid al-Haram, you do have to walk a little bit to get a taxi. Again, just if you're someone that can't walk that long, then this might not be for you. It's not too bad. Cancellation stress, if flights are cancelled or whatever, or for whatever reason your hotel's cancelled, you don't need to worry about sorting this stuff out. The group travel organization will sort all of that stuff out. So, it gets rid of a lot of headaches that could potentially occur. Another thing is religious guides. So, if you don't know how to perform Umrah and you haven't done your research and haven't studied the fiqh of it, then, there won't be anyone delivering talks to explain how to perform Umrah. Or, if you have questions and stuff like that, you won't have access to someone easily to answer your questions. Likewise, when you visit your Ziraya locations, again, if you haven't done your research, you'll go there and you might not understand the significance of it or the history behind it. All of this stuff you won't have. But inshallah, what we've done at Islamic Hub is we've created 2 bits. So first we've got a Umrah guide that we've created, and I'll put the link in the description inshallah. It's just a step-by-step guide in terms of what you do, the adhkar you say, all of that stuff. And we also have, in terms of the key Ziraya locations, we've got some history from authentic sources about it. So inshallah, again, I'll link you through both from Makkah and Medina, which will definitely help you when you visit these Ziraya locations. Okay, so inshallah, talking about visa and Umrah permits. So let's start off with visas first. There's different visas available. The first one that's been introduced very recently is called the Electronic Visa Waiver. So the first one's called Electronic Visa Waiver. This is only applicable to certain countries. I'm only aware about UK having this at the moment. I don't know about other countries. It's free, and essentially you don't need a visa. That's why it's called a visa waiver. As long as you're a British citizen and got a British passport, you'll get a waiver on arrival, and there's no cost involved in this. The only thing I'm not too sure about is whether you need travel insurance. This is travel health insurance. Saudi Arabia do mandate that you need travel insurance. But again, I don't know if they will ask for it on arrival. So inshallah, that's something for you to figure out. The other is tourist e-visa, and I'll open this up quickly. So with the tourist e-visa, you apply online, which is on the visitsaudi.com website. It also includes travel insurance and it allows you to stay for 90 days. And it also gives you multiple entry. So it will last for a whole year. And let's say you want to go to Saudi Arabia in September, and then again you might want to go again in July, for example. Then you use the same visa. You don't need to pay again. It lasts for a whole year. So let's quickly just go onto the website before I talk about the other visas. So this is the website, visitsaudi.com, and I just clicked on apply for e-visa, and then you select your nationality here. And this is where you'll find all the information. So I'm going to select UK. And then it tells me I'm eligible for e-visa, visa on arrival, transit / stopover visa. And in terms of the e-visa, it gives me all the information here. The e-visa price is $535. It includes travel insurance, multiple entry, as mentioned. It lasts for a whole year from the date it's issued. And the visa allows you to stay for a maximum of 90 days. From previous experience, it takes less than a week for you to get your visa. So I would advise you to sort of, try to delay it as much as possible in terms of applying for the visa. If you plan on going again, because it will the 1 year lasts from the day you gain the visa. So therefore I sort of advise maybe doing it 3-4 weeks before you fly out. Therefore you will have a longer time in terms of using the visa. Whereas if you do it 3 months before you travel, then it'll expire earlier and you haven't even visited the country. So one thing to bear in mind. So again, over here you can just select your different country and you might be able to get good information in terms of what's available for your country in terms of visas. Going back to the slide, so tourist visa on arrival. So this is again a tourist visa, and when you arrive, you just need to purchase it. You'll have to purchase the visa, and you'll also need to purchase travel insurance with it, which I believe the travel insurance is directly purchased from the same place you purchase your visa, at Saudi's airport. It works out cheaper than the tourist e-visa, but again, you might have to queue up long time to get this and stuff like that. You might need to make sure you have the right proof and evidences, stuff like that. So again, just make sure you double check in terms of what's needed for this visa on arrival. It's not that much cheaper, and if you want to know the prices, we can quickly have a look. So I'm just going to use United Kingdom again. So 535 riyals for the e-visa, which you do online. And in terms of the visa on arrival, you've got 300 riyals. And then the medical insurance fee is 180. So 480 riyals in total. So it's about about 60 riyals cheaper. So yeah, just again, it's not much. Of course, less headache if you get an e-visa, but again, if you're tight on budget, then that's also a potential way to go with it. You then have the transit visa, which again they introduced not so long ago, but this is only obtained if you book directly a Saudi airline. And my understanding is the airline will send you your transit visa to your email or whatever. But it's only valid for 96 hours stay, so you can only stay within Saudi Arabia for 96 hours. So you can really only perform Umrah with that. Pretty much impossible going to Umrah and Medina at the same time. It's just not enough time. So again, just something to bear in mind. And then finally is the Umrah visa. So if for whatever reason your country can't get any of the visas above, the only way for you to perform Umrah is via Umrah visa. And the Umrah visa is only approved travel agents within that country can give you an Umrah visa. You cannot obtain an Umrah visa yourself. You have to go through a travel agent to get that. So again, one thing to bear in mind, make sure you do your research properly. Okay, if we now talk about Nusuk, you need to make sure you've got an Umrah permit for Nusuk, and you need to make sure you select the right time in terms of when you're arriving, when you're going to perform Umrah, just to make sure it's valid. It will be valid in terms of when you're arriving into Makkah, because the guards on your way to Makkah, they have like a stop search where they sometimes select random cars and stop them, and they will then want to see your Umrah permit on Nusuk in order to give you a valid entry. And you might also get asked when you're entering Masjid al-Haram to do your tawaf, the guards might stop you and ask for your Umrah permit. So please make sure you have this beforehand, have it set up. You go on nusuk.sa to sign up and get the Umrah permit. And there's also a mobile app. Likewise for the Roda as well. You need to have this permit. You will definitely be asked when visiting by the guards to show your permit, or you'll not be, or you most likely will not be allowed in. In terms of a guide on how to get your Umrah permit and Roda permit, I've created a video which I'll link in the description. Just a 1-minute video in terms of downloading it and a step-by-step guide on how to get the Umrah permit and the Roda permit. So I'll put that in the description, inshallah. So booking flights. Booking with a third party, e.g. booking.com, etc. is much cheaper, but is risky. If flights are cancelled, they might not be able to change you to another flight that fits your schedule. And sometimes getting a full refund for cancellation can be tricky as well. That's just one warning when booking with a third party. But of course, flights are not always cancelled, so it's not a high risk of happening. But if it does happen, then the risk is there. Booking directly with airline is preferred, of course, but generally it's much more expensive. So in order to book, visit the airline's official website just to check what the prices are, and then compare it against a third party by using a flight comparison site such as Skyscanner. Make sure you check different flight days, as sometimes just a different day can make a big price change. And of course, if you do find a third party that's offering a good website, just make sure they're trustworthy by looking on Trustpilot, for example, to see how the reviews are. So let's take an example. So I am planning on traveling from London to Jeddah, departing Monday, September 18th, and coming back Monday, September 25th. We'll just choose one passenger for this. So I'm going to click on search flights. Okay, and what they do very good is they show all the dates on the top and then tell you what's cheapest. So It looks like what we've chosen right now is cheapest for Monday, so we'll stick with that and click confirm. And then now it's going to ask us to select what flight we want. So these are all the flights on Monday. Of course, if you change days, then the flight times might also change. So, you need to investigate that. But it's just showing all the flights that are available. The cheapest one is £431. But this is just this is a stopover at Riyadh. So in terms of it's just what £13 more than a direct flight, so probably not worth it. So we'll go ahead and select the direct flight here, and then you're able to select your baggage, but we'll just select one baggage. Click on select, and then now it's asking us to select our return flight. So the cheapest is £302, but again that includes a stopover at Riyadh. And then the direct one is 324. So again, we're talking about just over £20 there. Not much of a difference because stopovers, are not as relaxing as a direct flight. We'll select this, and then again, our baggage will be the same, one suitcase. And then we have a final price at the top. So the total for this is going to cost £769. So now let's go on Skyscanner. And again, we'll select the same dates, 18th of September, Monday, and coming back on the 25th. And we'll click search. And we've selected direct flights. So the cheapest here is £544. That's including return as well. So, a couple of £100 difference. Let's just click on select and see what providers. So over here they're giving reviews, which is quite good. You can see the different providers offering this price. Pretty much all are cheaper than Saudia. What's interesting here is you can even see that the third party, by going through Skyscanner, you're able to get a cheaper price with Saudia officially, $650 compared to the one we saw here. So again, that's I didn't know about that, but that's something new I've learned. And look, it takes you exactly to Saudia's website. Let's just test this out just to make sure we get the same price. Yep. Select that. Continue. 649 via Skyscanner. If we just go back, of course, if you select flights with one stop, it'll generally be a bit more cheaper. But you just need to make sure how long the stopovers are. Is it a good airline? Stuff like that. So you've got Qatar Airways, which is a good airline, 464 compared to it's about £100 cheaper than Saudia, for example. Right, so we're going to move on to booking hotels now. Again, safest option is to book directly at the hotel. In some cases, booking a hotel directly as opposed to a third party can actually work out to be cheaper. Again, you just need to check both the third party and the hotel official website as well. The first thing to really do is just check, go onto Google Maps and select a few hotels, and just make sure the walking distance, because if you can't walk that far, then you want to get a hotel closer, and you need to know which hotels are closer. So it's very easy to find out via Google Maps on that. But sometimes hotels do offer a free shuttle bus service that runs very often. So even if you are far away, you don't need to worry, because you can just get onto the shuttle bus. But of course, it's much easier just to get a hotel walking distance close by. So yeah, best to check Google Maps to find out which hotels you want to select. And then what Google Maps also does, it compares the prices for the hotels. And then once you do this, you can then see, the hotel might have the third party price listed on Google Maps. Then you can see what the total price via the third party is. And then you can also go on the hotel's official website or accor.com, depending on what the hotel uses, and then compare their price against the third party. make sure you check all the cancellation policies, stuff like that. And another thing to bear in mind is, again, just make sure you know when they'll take the payment out, because sometimes they take payment out a day before you check in, and therefore if you don't have enough money on your card, then it might reject the payment and then they'll just automatically cancel your stay. So you arrive there, day's cancelled. So you just need to bear all of this in mind. But anyway, let's take an example. So I've gone on Google Maps. I've selected hotels in Makkah. So I've just searched for hotels in Makkah and selected checking out Monday, 18th of September, and checking out Thursday, 21st of September. Sorry. So on the Google Maps, you can see this is Masjid al-Haram, all of this here. And then you can see all the prices of different hotels that are close by. So over here, very quickly, you can see which hotels are very close by. Essentially, all the ones here, this is the clock tower. So all of them are sort of all going to be close. So let's take an example. Let's go for Pullman Zamzam Makkah. We click on this, and then over here you can see the different prices listed. So you've got Booking.com, 211, Expedia, Hotels.com, the different prices here. And then you've got Pullman Zamzam official website, 271. And we'll just click on more prices just to see all the others. Again, you need to double check, some of these third parties, no clue who they are. So you just need to check the authenticity of these third parties before going with them. But let's click on the official Pullman Zamzam Makkah one. So it takes you to a call. Fine. So they're saying classic room, 2 single size beds, city views, £569 is the cheapest. So yeah, £569. This is also including breakfast. So let's also check the third party. So let's go with Booking.com. So here we go, Pullman Zamzam Makkah. They're giving £632, all breakfast included. And then you can see here that it's much cheaper to book via a call, which is what Pullman Zamzam Makkah are using as their official source. So, here's a good example of the official source being cheaper. So £569. Generally, all the hotels also say that they give member discount, but being member is free from all of them as far as I'm aware. So, just sign up to the member on login, and you'll get the member price. So, and then again, we'll do the same thing for Medina. So hotels in Medina, and then again, this is Masjid Nabawi here. Circle here. You can see there's quite a few hotels. We just need to change our dates, of course. So we'll be checking in Thursday and then leaving Monday, just to align with the flight times. And then again, you can see everything here, all the different hotels that are close over here. We will again select Pullman. We'll go here and we'll see the prices. So automatically here I can see that it's cheaper to book officially with them compared to the third parties. So again, we'll just click here, their stuff. So £620. It doesn't include breakfast. And then we'll again just click on Booking.com just to compare the price. So £721. So yeah. So moving on to transport now, a very important topic. There's different ways to get from city to city or from the airport to your destination. One of the fastest ways, and could be cheaper, is via the Harman train railway station. So if you go on the official website here, you can then look at the timetable and the cost of everything. And I've also got a YouTube video here that I've done on my channel. Within 1 minute, I explain how to book a train. But in either way, visit the website and my video for more information. So it's much faster than taxi and coach, and it runs from Jeddah Airport to Makkah, Medina to Makkah, and Makkah to Medina. As I said earlier, it can be cheaper than taxi, but if there's more than 2 people traveling, then it might not always work out cheaper than taxi. Again, just bear that in mind when you're working out the whole cost. Trains do not run 24/7, so again, you need to bear that in mind depending on what time you land. And when I last remember, the last train was around 10 p.m., but again, that might have changed. You need to check. So it might not be an option for you in terms of when you arrive. Another important matter is they do not allow large suitcases on the trains. Sometimes you can get away with it, but technically by the rules you're not allowed. And therefore what happens is the suitcases are then delivered to your station of destination by truck service. And at the station they have a dedicated spot where you drop your suitcases off. You have to pay per suitcase. I think it's around, when I last went, it was 49 Rial per suitcase. So again, just bear that in mind in the total cost. And then it then gets delivered the next day. It doesn't get delivered the same day. It usually gets delivered the next day. You will then need to organise transport to pick up your suitcases from the train station of your destination. So again, that's additional cost. Sometimes the hotel can pick up the suitcases for you, but it won't be free. They'll charge, and it might work out more expensive, and it might be cheaper for you to go yourself. So again, just bear all of this in mind. And in terms of the suitcase restrictions, the max is 25 kg. You can't be over 25 kg. And these are the dimensions. So anything larger than this, technically they will not allow you on the train with it. But when I've went, they've let me off sometimes, but another time they didn't. So it's hit and miss. So in terms of coach from Jeddah Airport, this is another option that they had. I don't know if they still have it, so you need to check. It doesn't run 24/7. Again, I think the last one was around 9 p.m. or something like that. It's free, but it will drop you at Masjid al-Haram, so you'll then need to organise another taxi to your hotel from Masjid al-Haram. So again, if you've got a lot of suitcases and stuff like that, it might not be worth the hassle. Of course, the coach will generally be slower than a taxi as well. So again, the other option you have is taxi. So there's plenty of drivers available, private drivers, as well as Uber, all of that stuff. So that's not going to be a problem for you. But yeah, it will definitely be more costly than the train. Finally, items to bring. Of course, you'll need your ihram garment if you're traveling directly to Jeddah. But if you're going to Medina, and then entering the state of ihram from Medina, then you won't need your ihram garment straight away. It will be easy to find them in Medina. There'll be many shops selling them. Another one is a bag for shoes. It's very easy to forget where you put your shoes and trying to come back to that same place because Masjid al-Haram is massive with many different entrances. It's always best just to have a carry-on bag with you where you put your slippers in. Umbrella in case it rains or it's very hot. So make sure you have that. Waist bag. Again, for the men, when you're in your ihram clothes, there won't be any pockets, and you'll most likely need your phone, your wallet. So just as the image on the right here, just get a bag like that, which you can just tie around your waist with zippers, and you can put your phone and wallet and important stuff in there. And of course, sunscreen if you need it, and make sure you have medicine like paracetamol and stuff like that.